There's so many moms we've been talking about lately that are horrible, horrible mothers. Some of them abandoning their children, and some of them straight up taking their kids' lives. We got to talk about this today. We got to talk about Lorivallow and this interview that she did with Dateline.
Were you there?
What place was that?
Did you watch?
What place was that? Do you have any idea?
I'm asking.
Well, I'm the only one that knows. Do you know? You're pretending like you know.
Before we continue with this video, let me tell you all about this video's sponsor, which is Hungry Root. Hungry Root is a grocery delivery service that delivers high quality groceries, supplements, and delicious recipes to make creating meals for your family not only delicious, but easy and simple. I am a working mom. I have a almost 3-year-old. He's going to be 3 in May, which blows my mind. Very busy. I'm a very busy woman, and Hungry Root makes one of the most difficult and time-consuming parts of my days very easy, and that is the meal prepping. That takes up so much time out of my day, and if you have to do it, you know what I'm talking about. One of the things that I love is that my son actually has a lot of allergies, so if you have allergies, you can actually get on Hungry Root and you can select your allergens, and it will show you all of the meals and ingredients that you can get that don't have any of those things in them. Every single meal that I have made from Hungry Root has tasted like I've gotten it from a restaurant. I'm not even joking. They didn't ask me to tell you that. Hungry Root gets to know your personal health goals and your dietary restrictions, as well as your favorite foods and how much time you want to spend on cooking. They build you a personalized cart that has all of your grocery needs for the entire week. It's like I'll get a little paper and I'll have like 6 different recipes on it, and it'll tell me a very simple steps on how to create a meal with the groceries that I just got in my box.
Right here. I think it was this.
The first 100 people to use my code Kyeluh, spelled just like here on YouTube, will get 40% off your first order of Hungry Root. 40% off is an amazing deal, and you will not be disappointed. You can come back and thank me later, and also thank Hungry Root. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get back into it. Lorivallow Daybell did an episode of Dateline, and her interview had some jaw-dropping moments that we need to talk about in today's video.
What was the relationship with Chad all about anyway?
My husband?
Yeah.
My husband that I've been married to for 5 years?
Sure. And it calls you Lorivallow. Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but I'm Lori Daybell.
Now, a while back, I did a video on her, which I will have linked down below. This goes over the whole case and everything that we knew at that time. I don't know if in that video I covered the fact that Chad Daybell, Lorivallow's husband, has gotten the death penalty for the murder of Tylee and Joshua, who were 7 and 16 years old, and also for the murder of his wife, Tammy Daybell. Now, what's interesting about this interview with Lorivallow is that she is so delusional that she is fully convinced, or at least trying to convince everybody else that's watching it, that she didn't do this.
I hear stuff from my family that's like, oh, somebody does a blog about you every day or something. How could they do a blog every day? It's been like 5 years. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
A lot happened.
Tragedies in my life. So the media loves to take tragedies and turn them into crimes, turn them into horrible things. And I had a lot of tragedies in a row, like a domino effect.
It's so uncomfortable to watch because there are moments where you're looking at her and you're just like, you actually believe this. Like, you kind of like have these moments where you get convinced that she believes what she's saying, but then there's other moments where you're like, you are full of crap, and you're trying to convince everybody who's watching that you weren't part of this when you were. And you can really see that moment flash across her face when the interviewer asks her if she was there when her son and daughter were murdered. So we're gonna go over this today. I'm gonna show you some of the clips that I found to be the most jaw-dropping and interesting from this, but you can actually watch this full thing on YouTube TV if you guys pay for your YouTube subscription, and you can see the full episode. Now, there's a lot of moments where there's narration over what she's saying. I think they cut a lot out because Lori was talking in circles a lot, and she was giving like reasons for why things happened that were just not true. So they had to talk over her and give a lot of facts to the case because she's just trying to spin a narrative that is untrue. There are certain moments that I find to be particularly disturbing. I will try and find a clip of this if I can, but there was one moment where Lori said that Tylee was gonna die anyways.
Smart, very sassy, knows how to push your buttons, knows what to say.
Gotcha.
Is able to be very peaceful with Tylee, able to be patient with Tylee because I watched her suffer so much. And I knew she was not going to live forever. because you know that you can die of pancreatitis anytime you have.
There's no heart in this woman. There's no love in her eyes. There's no care there, which is insane because she likes to talk about Jesus and how he loves her more than anybody. Like, and if she had a bumper sticker, that's what it would say, that Jesus loves you, but he loves me more. This woman is so pretentious, and she actually thinks that she is a good woman. Like, she's convinced she's a good woman. And, you know, if you follow this case, you know that she considered her daughter and son zombies, which is very similar to, well, it's not similar, it's the same thing as what Ruby Franke called her children. And a lot of people are relating Lorivallow to Ruby Franke. It's just that R escaped and was able to get help before him and his sibling were murdered. But Lorivallow, her kids were both killed. They were found on her husband's property. Her son was found in a pet cemetery, and her daughter was found dismembered in a fire pit.
Why did Chad label your children dark?
That is all.
Call them zombies. You saying that didn't happen?
Did you hear him say that? I didn't.
Oh, I see. But that would be a pattern. He would label people dark, and then they would either die or somebody may have an attempt on their life.
No, that's the narrative that you've been running.
Chad was married to another woman named Tammy, and she died shortly before Chad and Lori got married. At first, her death was ruled an accidental death. Then they ended up going in and discovering that she died by asphyxiation.
The evidence clearly shows that Lori searched for wedding dresses and rings and bought a malachite gemstone ring on October 2nd, 2019. And Chad's wife Tammy was as alive as a person can be. Murdered on October 19th, 2 weeks after Lori's wedding ring was delivered. Bought the wedding rings.
That is an untrue statement. You don't know what you're talking about on that one.
It's online.
Those rings were not initially bought for us. So get your facts straight, Keith,
Who were they
before
bought
you
for?
start making accusations. You don't know. You
Who were they
don't
bought
have
for?
any idea because you've heard all these rumors. Rumor has it.
This is one of those cases where it's two people who are delusional and they are deep in their belief system that is just whacked out. Like, the amount of people in Utah that have this crazy belief system just blows my mind. Not this severe, but there's a lot of people there that I just feel like are extremely delusional and don't even realize it. But they truly believed that people would become zombies and that they needed to be killed in order to save them. That's what they believed. And part of me wonders if Lorivallow thought that she was, or at least justified it to herself, that she was saving them by doing this. She gets up in front of the judge and she says that she has been able to see them and that they are, and speak to them while they're in heaven. They are very busy. She said, "I have many communications with Jesus Christ, Savior of this world, and our heavenly parents. I have had many angelic visitors come and communicated with me and even manifested themselves to me because of these communications. I know for a fact that my children are happy and busy in the spirit world because of my communications with my friend Tylee Daybell. I know that she's also very happy and extremely busy." I find it very insane to me that the woman who was a part of their murder thinks that she would have access to them in the afterlife, that she's so special that she would be able to communicate with the people that she took their life from, that she had some sort of authority and right to remove other people's lives. And you know what's so interesting to me about these types of people is like Chad and Lori, it's like other people need to die, but not them. Like, other people, they need to go. If they were so convinced that they were doing something right, why would they dismember them and kill them in these horrific ways? It's not like they didn't kill them in like this merciless way. Like, they killed them in horrific ways. This is not something that you're doing out of mercy and love, which obviously we know this, but I'm just like, the fact that they believe, or Lori believes, that this was something that needed to be done. She also goes in to say that the narrative has been being spun in a way that is inaccurate.
No, that's not accurate. Sorry, it's not the truth. You asked me for the truth. You're asking me personally. The only person on the earth who really knows. You're shaking your head no, like that didn't happen.
Gotcha. I'm quoting what the court said about you.
Go ahead and quote it.
Actually conspired to kill these people. He was there when...
I was falsely accused. I was falsely
Let me ask you
convicted,
directly.
and I will be exonerated.
All right.
Lori claims that she's not guilty and that there's a narrative that's being spun that isn't true. Like, this is what she's saying. She is not pleading guilty, and she's claiming that she had nothing to do with this. And, you know, she goes on these delusional rants, but the moment she's asked did she see what happened to them, did she see the murder, then she just kind of like, she's like, what a sad thing.
Were you there the night that Tylee died? Were you there the night that JJ died?
Was I
Was
where?
Alex in these places when they died? In the place where they died, were you there?
What place was that?
Did you watch?
What place was that?
Did
Do you have any idea?
I'm asking.
Well, I'm the
Doesn't
only
really
one that
matter.
knows. Do you know? You're pretending like you know.
It doesn't matter. I'm not pretending I know. I'm asking you a question. Did you watch your children die?
That's a really sad question.
It's a terrible question. One I hate to have to ask, but we've been talking about all of these.
I was not there.
I mean, there was her hair found on the duct tape of her son. The duct tape that was over his mouth. Her hair was on it. She's claiming that she believes that she will be exonerated. She says that she saw herself in heaven and that she wasn't in prison. She believes Chad will be exonerated. She even says that after she's exonerated, maybe she'll go on Dancing with the Stars. Like, that's how, like, whacked out she is. She thinks she's going to get out and she's going to be famous for this and be able to go on Dancing with the Stars, which honestly, with stuff like Casey Anthony that we've been talking about on my channel, it's really not that hard to believe that somebody that would murder their children would be able to walk free because she is. So honestly, maybe that's where she gets that from. She sees other people that have done terrible things that are out there making money off of social media, so she probably thinks that that's what she's going to get to do as well. It's absolutely insane. In her interview, Lori also denied that Chad ever called her children dark and ever referred to them as zombies, so she's acting like this wasn't something that happened, but it was. There are so many witnesses that say that she referred to them as zombies, and everybody's stories line up except for hers. In an interview last year with her older son on his podcast, he says that Lori implied to him that her daughter Tylee might have killed her son Joshua accidentally and, filled with grief, taken her own life. So
You want to go on later and say, Lori told me this in his voice, but really this is what happened. Are you going to do that to me, Keith?
Maybe that one.
Yes.
Lori danced away from questions she seemed determined to avoid, trying to fill our allotted 90 minutes with a long and rambling story about Tylee, clearly leading up to the same one she told son Colby.
That is something that I find to be so sickening, okay, is not only did they do this to these poor children, these poor innocent children, not only did they take their lives from them, but then afterwards, she is going to put that on her daughter, on her innocent 16-year-old daughter that had a life left to live and so many memories left to make and things left to do in her life. She took her life from her daughter, and then she wants to come out and claim, no, her daughter is the one that murdered her brother and then took her own life because she felt so bad for it. She's going to come out and put that on her daughter. This woman, why does she not have the death penalty? I don't care if she's insane. She deserves the death penalty too. She does not deserve to be alive and be getting interviews and be getting attention for this horrific crime that she committed. Watching this episode was crazy to see because Lori is just, she's making jokes. Like when she first walks in, she's all happy and charismatic. I don't know what breaks in these people's brains that makes them take the lives of the people that trust them, their children that are relying on them for love and safety and to protect them and to keep them safe from people like this. I don't know what happens to people's brains that makes them snap and take their own kids' lives and then go on to blame their own child for this happening, take no accountability for it, and then just be able to act like you're going to be famous for this and get on Dancing with the Stars. It's so frustrating seeing situations like this because she's never going to take accountability. She's never going to take accountability for what she did because she's continuing on with this narrative that she had nothing to do with it. And listening to her speak, I don't think it's ever going to change. I don't think we're ever going to see her suddenly take accountability for what she did. And if she did, it's not going to change what happened to them. It's not going to change it. But I feel like she deserves the death penalty just like Chad Daybell because that wasn't Chad's children. That was her children. That was her children. I think if a mother is going to take her own child's life, she doesn't deserve to have one herself. I don't think she deserves to be in prison and eating food and living her life in there. I don't think she deserves it. I don't understand why Chad is getting the death penalty for it and she's not. I don't care how insane she is. I don't care. I don't care. She doesn't deserve to be here when her children can't be, when she took their lives from them. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Seeing her face on my feed disgusts me. We've been talking about so many mothers lately that are straight up neglectful, abandon their kids. Some of them abandon their kids, and some of them murder them, like Lorivallow, and what we all believe Casey Anthony did, even though we can't say that because she'll call it slander. So allegedly. I will never understand these types of people. They're disgusting to hurt your own child. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I don't care how insane you are. You don't deserve to live and breathe and eat and function like a person. Even if you're half of one, even if you're a shell of a human being, you don't deserve to be on this planet if you're going to take your own children's lives away. It's disgusting. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Thank you so much, Hungry Root, for sponsoring today's video. If you guys would like to check out Hungry Root, check the link in my description down below. First 100 people to use my code Kyeluh, spelled just like here on YouTube, will get 40% off your first order of Hungry Root. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you soon for another one.